the whole society seems to become more and more nothing else than an authoritarian regime. Nowadays, it seems that all these people who reach places and positions within politics and nations, they aren't capable of anything else but just authoritarianism and dictatorships, right? When you look even today at the agendas, well, the social agenda is what people call the, LGBT agenda, what people call the WHO agenda. Well, they're nothing else but, unfortunately, authoritarian regimes. They are a bit more refined in the sense that they're being shown to you as if they are the greatest good that can happen. You can see, hopefully remember, during the pandemic, everyone was telling you to comply. You had literally no choice but to comply. But they were imposing it in somewhat of a pleasant way because you are doing it for your beloved ones. See, you have been born nowadays and all the time till now in a very brutal, ruthless world where no one cares about you. Most likely not even your parents. Because a long, long time ago, thousands of years ago, people gave up on their emotions and they became mindless robots. When you give up on your emotions, you're just gonna build walls around you and you're just gonna engrave yourself at a young age. Why? Because your walls are simply irrelevant when you're surrounded by people whom you cannot trust. Just like a fortress is irrelevant when it comes to bad politics. If you end up surrounded by enemies, you may have impregnable walls. That doesn't matter because, your fortress can easily become your graveyard when you're surrounded by enemies. Similarly, in this world, everything seems to be uh, guiding the people towards comfort. Your comfort is basically your grave because when you sleep in your comfort zone, you become simply unaware of everything that happens around you. And almost everything that happens around you is aimed against you. There are groups of people whose interest is not you. If you look throughout the history of our entire race, you will see that some of the greater societies who ruled over humanity and who are still ruling to a certain extent, there has only been genocide against humanity. You can't build an empire without genocide, without wiping history out. A lot of people are convinced that the history they're reading in books is the actual history. When's the last time you actually heard the truth in this sick society, right? As Voltaire would say, politics is all about immoral people, ruling people who have no memory. Why do you think nowadays everything is fully based on overloading you, right? Even your senses. When you connect yourself to the internet, there's ads everywhere, there's all sorts of things here and there, there's all sorts of movies, distractions. The more you overload your brain, the more you damage your brain. In time, you become less capable of remembering things. Why do you think there's so many of these TikTokers that, you know, they argue over 20 things today, tomorrow they won't even remember what they watched. They watch 4, 5, 6 hours of TikTok a day and they don't even remember. They can't remember. You can't remember how many dozens, hundreds of shorts you may have seen. All of these damage your brain. If it is strategically done at a very young age, well, the very question is, look at all the people. Asia is a very frustrated continent. They give birth to a lot of children. But the question is, where are you bringing them? You're bringing them in a world of misery, in a world that doesn't want them. And they're going to end up living without their emotions because they're going to be fully convinced that emotions are bad. And then when you give birth to more monsters than your generation actually had, well, that becomes an increasing more problem. Because these people who are going to become TikTok addicts and mainstream media slaves, the very simple question is, what are you going to do with all these extra children? Because once their brains will be completely fried and well, if you fry your brain at a young age, you're not going to recover that much. Because up till the age of 25, people require their brainly evolution. Around the mid-20s, your emotional side fully develops. It finalizes its development. That is why youngsters are way more compulsive, way harder to control, because, well, that's how things go. That's how our brain functions. When you look at this sick society, everything is all about imposition. See, all religions are also about imposition in a way. Their books and their scriptures, their writings, they're all peaceful aspects. Any religion that you may look at, they're all peaceful at base. But how they are being used as tools? Well, they have been used for oppression. You don't believe me? Well, look at some of Islam's history. Expansionism, slavery. Well, if you're telling me that that's peacefulness, well, you probably aren't attuned to the right reality. Look at Christianity. Well, Catholicism most specifically. Because after the break into Catholicism and Orthodoxy, well, Orthodoxy wasn't as expansionist as Catholicism, but still, unfortunately, religions were used in a way to make you very feeble, to make you very fragile. Because when someone comes and tells you that you need someone else to be connected to divinity, that only connection with life that you had, because all your life is the divinity, the creation, the connection with creation. Once you lose that, you lose your innocence. You're just a robot. You're nothing else. You're gonna feel that your emotions and your mind are against you. They're like demons, hunters within you that you cannot do anything against. And you're gonna live a miserable life. This has been going on for way too many thousands of years. That's why there's so many children living life. They reach adulthood, they get old, but they're still children looking for a hug, looking for an embrace. It happens to me at times when I talk to some people and I tell them certain things, and very few cases they even burst into crying and they want a hug. This just goes to show that people everywhere in the world don't know what love is. But when you look at all the great cultures, literature, you'll probably find multiple definitions of love. Well, that's another, let's say, proof that people haven't experienced love. Love is the connection towards divinity. You don't need any other. You don't need any other definition. Now they're making love feel as if only sexuality, only sex is love, right? And you have sex slaves everywhere. All the social media that you're blindly following, they have sex slaves everywhere, right? A lot of the economy in the world is made through sex slaves. But obviously, the mainstream media and the news won't ever tell you that because, it's the ugly truth that you're not supposed to hear. Narcissists will never love the truth, right? So when you look at the world, everything seems to be going rampant because the new world is being birthed. And the old fuckers are gonna go to hell with them anyways. We've had enough troubles from the Khazari fuckers and all of these Braxilian idiots who think and wet themselves that they're ruling the world. Everything they're bringing to the world is a new agenda. Even your video games have agendas. They're no longer the video games that once used to be, just about exploring stuff, doing stuff, and killing some simple-minded AI. And, living the joy. Now people are playing games just because, they're baited into those, because they seem to be aligned with the same agenda. See, in this sick society, when you align yourself with this sick society, see, they're giving the so-called homosexual people extra rights. That is nothing else but, in a way, authoritarianism, right? Only an authoritarian regime decides that a small part of the people will have theoretically more rights than the others. But when you draw a line, where are those rights? Because the pandemic should have been your first warning sign that it didn't matter whether you were part of the agendas of society or not. They wanted you dead regardless, right? Haven't their wise people told you that, it's all a little circus? It's all a little private party and you're not invited, right? When you're invited to this party, well, that party becomes a funeral. And, well, it's your funeral. So it is up to you to choose what this world will look like, because your parents have done nothing for you, right? They may have built the buildings in which you live in, but where is the civical implication of people, right? That we allowed all these monkeys to take control of us. What life do you want your children to have? This which they already have? Or will you be willing to do something more so that your children will have a much better life than you? Outside of all these agendas and authoritarianism that people simply don't see. Have an awesome day. Very John Board signing out.